Study 16, The Blessing of a Simpler Life, Part 1. The simple life is the life God intends for us. The busy life is the life our culture conditions us to accept instead. God's invitation to simplicity stands, though, regardless of how hectic your life has become and regardless what you've obligated yourself to do or to pay for. Want some encouragement? Here are a dozen snapshots of your future if you RSVP to His invitation with a yes. When you embrace simpler living, your calendar will have a lot more white space than color. You'll be able to work fewer hours because you have fewer bills to pay because you've learned to live with fewer things. You'll be able to take a walk not for exercise or for the dog, but because you have the time to take a walk. And you'll recognize God's graces during that walk, rather than using the time to mentally get things done. You'll get ready in the morning without concern for what people will think of your clothes, your hair, or your body. You'll be able to wait in a line of cars or people without instinctively looking at your watch. You'll savor every bite of the meal in gratitude instead of gulping it down as usual. You'll step off the treadmill of career climbing and professional legacy, and instead, you'll do something you love. You'll be able to pray in front of people, but talk only to God. You'll focus on one thing at a time, living in the moment without concern about what's not getting done. You'll look at a pile of laundry or dishes or a cluttered closet and sincerely thank God for the abundance of your life. You'll have the strength to say no, even though the sign says sail. You'll be content with the blessings of your life. Finally. Sound like a step forward from the life you have now? It very well may be, because God didn't design us to live hyper-complicated lives, encumbered with obligations or possessions or other things that distract us from what matters most. He designed us, as Jesus said, to have the time and the space to love Him and love others. If you're looking for an authoritative answer to the timeless question, how shall we live? Jesus offers it with, simplicity. But recognize something else essential about this simpler lifestyle. Retreating to it does not begin with changing the externals of our life, our debt level, our spending habits, the number of activities we agree to undertake, the speed we drive, and so forth. Try to make progress that way, and you'll become a Pharisee in no time. Instead, a simpler life begins with internal transformation. It's the fruit of an inner life that's centered on God, an inner life that empowers us to see as He sees, and thereby to live as He invites us to live. In the words of Richard Foster, simplicity is an inward reality that can be seen in an outward lifestyle. So, connecting the dots, the theology is this. Beating busyness flows from adopting a simpler lifestyle, which flows from genuine God-centeredness. How can we gain this divine center, this fresh and liberating perspective once and for all? And how can we resist the ever-present cultural currents that push us back toward our old priorities? These are critical questions that we'll address in the rest of this week's studies.
Think about it. What's the first thing that comes to mind when you hear the term, a simple lifestyle? Do you think it means to live like the Amish? Do you think it means trading your car for a bike and your laptop for an abacus? Do you think it means giving up steak and potatoes for tofu and alfalfa sprouts? These and other misconceptions lead Christians to reject the potential of simplicity. What might you do to better understand what a simple lifestyle really means from God's perspective? For group discussion, look over that simplicity list. How many of these items describe you? And what does your answer tell you about the potential for improvement in your life? Talk to God about it. Take a few minutes to meditate on whether your life really has a divine center to it. Ask God during this time what, if anything, is the connection between a deficit in your God-centeredness and the busyness and overload of your life. Your Freedom from Busyness Plan, Part 16. What are 3 things in your life that need to change if you want to accept God's invitation to live a simpler life? How will you ensure that these things change?